Does becoming financially free seem unattainable to you? What if I told you that there's some small steps that you could take today that would put you on the right path? You've probably heard this before, but I will reiterate it. Mindset is one of the most important things that you can have for success. Yes, it's great to have big dreams, and yes, it's great to visualize those dreams, but mindset is everything. You can have a great action plan, but without the right mindset, it means nothing. My name is Chasse, and I have been passionate about financial freedom basically my entire life. By the end of 2015, I had achieved my goal of financial freedom, and I realized that I would never need to work another day of my life if I didn't want to. On this channel, I share with you guys the lessons that I've learned on the path to financial freedom to help you get there. And guys, I will admit it, like the path there isn't very easy, but it is probably more easy than most are led to believe, as long as you take the time to educate yourself, listen to the lessons that are told to you so you don't have to learn the hard way that others may have that are teaching these lessons, and apply these things to your life. You might find yourself there quicker than you think. So if you've been around my channel for a while, or if you're new, welcome. Guys, please do subscribe and like the video if you haven't already. Right now, we are in a bear market. No matter where you look, crypto, stocks, housing, and I have extra time now, and I want us to take this time to learn these things so that when the markets do turn around, we are well positioned to take full advantage of them and how to maximize our outcome from the bull market and make sure that we preserve as much of those gains as possible for when the market does eventually turn bearish again. One of the first videos I made on this channel was, and you can go check it out, I'll put it in the link description below. It was called Everything You've Been Told is a Lie. And education is one of the topics I cover in there. And today we're gonna go a little bit more in depth on what I meant by that. So most people don't realize that the schools that we have in place today, certainly the public schools, are based off of an education system that was created over 200 years ago during the Industrial Revolution. So back then, factory workers were absolutely needed. And factory workers needed to know how to stay in line, not ask too many questions, and be good employees. And during this time, formal education, or education that groomed people to be leaders and successful, was reserved solely for the rich. The system, of course, didn't want free thinkers. They wanted people who would comply. They didn't want you to think about how to become successfully free or financially free. They wanted you to just follow orders and get in line. Unfortunately, this is still the exact same school system that we use today. So some of you may have noticed this, but the education system that is provided for us doesn't teach things like entrepreneurship, how to manage finances, how to mortgage a house, how to not overextend yourself, how to pay off debt from credit cards, why credit cards may or may not be a good thing. They just don't educate you on how to achieve the basic level of financial education that one might need to feel the motivation to become an entrepreneur. Let's just think about the process in which you're taught to believe is the right way to live life, right? We're taught to go to our kindergarten and our elementary school and be a good student, be a good kid, right? Don't ask too many questions, don't get out of line, and just be good. Then we go to high school, and of course, you better look to apply at universities to get a good degree, right? These ultimately lead to a lot of student debt even after you graduate, followed by many, many years as a fellowship or an intern, essentially working your way up through the different levels to eventually one day hopefully run your own practice with a mountain of debt to accomplish more responsibilities, lots of payroll and staff. And by this point, you are long past the point of being able to enjoy the best years of your life, which, you know, if you can achieve entrepreneurship and financial freedom at a younger age, life is a dramatically different experience than if you're retiring at 65 years old with a bunch of money in the bank. And the second lesson that we can learn is what we call belief programming. Now, there's really two ways that we can fall under this belief programming. The first one is literally just the fact that you're born into it, right? And it was something taught to you by your parents, not because obviously they have any bad intent. It's just what they know because they went through the same education system that you're being dragged through. So a lot of people will just grow up in a poor neighborhood or with nothing but poor friends, families, relatives, and this is really all that you know. And so you just program to maintain and keep this mentality that's taught to you by the people around you. And again, it's not any of their faults, right? It's not the parents' fault. It's just what they know. It's not until literally somebody through the generations breaks out of this programming that we have and teaches themselves about finances, money, education, this kind of thing that then they can pass on to the offspring. And then it becomes a new generational lineage of breaking through the rat race or the programming that we are taught. And a great example of this is if you haven't read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, the entire premise of the book is based around this ideology. And the other way that we're programmed to have a poor mentality is this demonization of the rich. And you see this all the time, right? It is, in fact, the main narrative that propagates through our societies, even still today, is that for some reason, people believe that rich tend to be evil. Now, money itself doesn't create evil. It just exacerbates whatever kind of characteristic that you have inherently. Money is a tool that provides more utility and for you to amplify whatever it is that you want to amplify. So yes, if you're an evil person, it allows you to amplify that on another level. If you're a good person, a generous person, it also allows you to amplify that on another level. So you think about the kind of TV and cartoons that we grew up with, like think of DuckTales, you got Scrooge McGee, right? The rich, evil person. Same with The Simpsons, right? Mr. Barnes and Robin Hood, steal from the rich and give to the poor. And all of the rich in these things are portrayed as evil beings. Luckily, in modern day movies, sometimes we have guys like Iron Man who are hopefully flipping the script a little bit on this idea. But nonetheless, the whole idea here is that we are programmed to believe that rich is evil, and that why would you even want to try to achieve that level? Because if you do, there must be something wrong with you, right? Stay down here with us, the 99%, and leave the 1% to the elite scumbags of the world, right? And this is something that runs deep within people. So we can look at the different types of billionaires that exist on the planet. Now, there are people like the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds who are family money that runs really, really deep. And well, if you ask me, are some of the more evil and sinister people in the world where their amounts of wealth we don't even know. But then you have good examples of people who I think are leading the way in a very positive light. Look at Richard Branson or Elon Musk, who in most people's eyes are very successful billionaires, self-made, who aim to achieve a better world. And the third is that you are basically designed to remain poor, right? It's not taught to us in school or really any other time to be an entrepreneur, right? To think about how you spend your money and how you earn your money. We are taught to be very, very good, fall in place employees and to earn an income, right? Like when you think about what are perceived to be the most prestigious jobs, a lot of them have to do with salaries or just income, right? But that's not how people really get wealthy. That's not how you get financially free. So not only do high income earners typically spend more on things, but they're also taxed. So you make your income and it's taxed at income levels. Well, that's probably the highest tax bracket you could possibly ever be in, right? As opposed to entrepreneurs who can still buy things, but they buy things for their business, which is a tax write-off. Okay, and another thing is, really, we live in a world of unchecked capitalism and where it is encouraged, right, by design to generate as much revenue and profit for shareholders as possible, right? This is the capitalistic world we live in. And by all means, I'm not at all opposed to capitalism. I'm just saying you need to be aware of how the system works and how it's designed. The system is designed to take your money. They are good at it. They spend a ton of money every year on advertising to get your money. So if you're aware of this and you just don't allow yourself to be so vulnerable to advertising. Like for me, I'm on Twitter, right? If you're not following me on Twitter, go ahead and do that because I drop all kinds of good information there. Anyway, that's where I exist. Not because I'm browsing around Twitter to see like what my friends are up to, but because it's my business medium. And I'm never on Facebook anymore, never on Instagram, but I do understand there's a lot of advertising on these things now. So while the things that I've laid out in this video might seem kind of doom and gloom and like you were designed to fail or the system was designed to keep you suppressed, there are things that you can do, and watching this video and following my channel is something in a right direction. So assess where you are currently, what you are doing, and where you want to be. And while we're in a crypto bear market, I will continue to put out these kind of videos to hopefully inspire or educate and get you guys in that path going the right direction. Think about where you are in life. Who are you surrounding yourself with? Surround yourself by really interesting people. Now, if you're not sure where to do that, go to masterminds, right? Look for events online in your city or online events where you can listen and interact with very intelligent people who you can learn from. Choose what kind of content you consume, right? I am pretty sure there's very little content on TV, on normal TV, that adds any value to your life. Another thing that you can do is understand that anything that you might believe to be true that might be holding you back, take some time to kind of meditate and sit on that and think about these, what we call limiting beliefs. So these beliefs about yourself that might not be true that are holding you back from succeeding on doing what you want to do. Another thing that you can do to get ahead is, if you have assets, if you have possessions, right? Sell them. If you have things that have value right now, sell them. We are right now in what I think is the early days of a very bad bear market. This means assets, real estate, stocks, crypto is all more than likely going to still continue to fall over the next months to maybe even 18 months. Let's say that you have an old laptop, right? And it's just sitting around there collecting dust. Well, there's value there and someone would want to buy it, even if you can only sell it for $100 or maybe 200 bucks, selling off things that you don't need and spending less money, right? So if you have a job, great. Try to make sure that you have enough money set aside, because in this market, you don't know if you're going to continue to have that job in the next few months. So after you secure your nest egg, then start dollar cost averaging that stuff into the market. There's no time, like right now, I'm telling you, this is going to make generational wealth over the next 5 to 10 years. These asset prices are going to be incredible. Another thing that you can do that was the most valuable for me, one of the most valuable things, was education, right? Investing in yourself. It's also important that you understand how the monetary system works, how the dollar or the euro or how fiat currency works. So there are good documentaries like The History of Money with Mike Maloney, or even one of the documentaries that I love called Zeitgeist. That gets into what some people would call conspiracy theories. I call interesting things to think about. Guys, hopefully this video gave you some insight on maybe the reasons that you feel the way that you have, or the reason that you haven't been able to get ahead in life so far. It's not your fault if you don't have the education, but once you have the education, and even though I haven't given you all the keys to how to get financially free in this video, I've given you a lot of great steps on how to get started and other ways to educate yourself on how to get there. So what I would like you to do is, and what you should be doing for yourself, in the comments below, leave a comment and tell me what kind of goal you're gonna set for yourself that you want to accomplish, and set a reminder in your phone for 30 days from now, and come back and let us know if you achieve that goal. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Make sure that you share it with your friends and family, because I think this is important for everybody to hear. And if you did enjoy it, make sure you like the video, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Welcome, by the way. I'll catch you guys on the next one.